Very constructive week so far with several conferences. I will start first with Grand Challenges hosted by the Gates Foundation. I heard from Bill Gates on Monday within the keynote remarks, where he emphasized on the right tools to be put in place to face the pandemics in the future and the focus on preparedness in terms of emergency management in this context of action. We failed in the past, we are still failing as of today. There is no shame to state it because the right mechanisms aren't there, despite all the advancements. But Bill Gates stressed on research and development like during last year's event address, and that's a cornerstone of the medical front while facing COVID 19 and other pandemics in the future. Personally, I'm concerned regarding the growing clusters in Eastern Europe right now, and while some countries are reopening borders, this could lead to a potential vicious circle. I do agree with Bill Gates that this pandemic has, and I think is still, testing all our optimism. Among the other panelists I heard from at Grand Challenges, the participants at the State of COVID 19 Globally discussion, and Mark Huseman, CEO of the Foundation. Regarding the point of innovation for equity in a solution oriented context, I agree that we cannot be too transactional while trying to settle a better future at a global sphere while focusing on the principle of territorial development. So, hashtag health equity within the global call for action. I had the opportunity to hear from participants at the Rewired conference, focusing on the discussion related to the Internet Lie Machine today, a main chain of nowadays infodemic. The question of the impact of narratives on amplifying fake news was brought. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex and co-founder of Archewell, stressed on an important point. Indeed, the incentives of publishing aren't necessarily in line with the incentive of truth. That was a fact before the internet. Later, websites and social media became a tool for this reality that Prince Harry mentioned. A challenge that is too big to solve. We will have the opportunity to speak about it furthermore during the 2021-2022 cycle as well. It's a challenge even to my line of work in counterterrorism, as I have been speaking about it at several occasions. It was brought during UN seated conferences, for instance. Today, a lie that is given credibility by journalists or publishers consolidates the principle of trivialization of misinformation, but that's also another big topic that incorporates other aspects. So, looking forward to continuing right now on the synthesis of the International Criminal Court that I'm still working on, as well as the one of the most recent events with UN seated related to the 20th anniversary of the adoption of United Nations Security Council Resolution 1373 of 2001. This is my second event with CETED during the 2021-2022 course, after the one that was on September the 3rd related to emerging threats, trends, and development on terrorism and counter-terrorism. Looking forward also to further conferences with other voices of counterterrorism from the UN sphere that includes the UNOCT, the United Nations Security Council, the UNODC, as well as the UNDP, more or less. I want to bring something to conclude my video related to Amazon, just to say that very important to understand why Amazon stock was moving higher today. Related to the point that shares of Amazon on Nasdaq were gaining today after PayPal Holdings announced that users of its payments app Venmo will be able to buy products on Amazon with the app starting next year. Amazon shares were up to 2.5% at the close today, while PayPal stock was down by double digits, but the latter was more a reflection of a disappointing earning reports. So, what should we understand here? While the news is a bigger deal for PayPal than for Amazon, it does show that Amazon is taking steps to make shopping on its site even easier for customers, and it follows a recent announcement that it would partner with Affirm Holdings to allow customers to use its Buy Now, Pay Later service, another step to expanding customer access. Venmo has more than 80 million users and functions as the de facto bank account for many of them who skew towards millennials and young adults. In the earnings release, PayPal CEO Dan Schulman said, "We are thrilled that we are teaming up with Amazon to enable customers in the United States to pay with Venmo at checkouts." So now, what is the next question? While the Venmo tie-up seems unlikely to move the needle for Amazon, which recently passed Walmart as the world's largest retailer, it does show the company is thinking strategically, and such a decision could make a difference in marginal purchases for users who prefer the convenience of Venmo or have money in their Venmo accounts that they'd like to spend. The deal could also trigger more such partnerships for Amazon, including with Square's Cash App, as the tech giant looks for more ways to encourage shoppers to spend money on its platform. Never tell me the odds. Stay on target.